let's have a look. Which is the missing section? Okay, so we can see here, the bottom right, we have the question mark, which is the missing section. So if we look at the shapes, now if you look at this directly, it looks quite confusing, but if you actually break it down and start in the top left, it becomes quite simple. So we see that there's a series of triangles and they're moving around each individual square. So we need to work out which one from these options comes here where the question mark is. So you can start working this out yourself. I'll give you the answer and an explanation in a second. So this triangle starts in the top right, and you'll see then that it moves to the bottom left. It then goes to the top left, to the bottom right, to the top right, to the bottom left, top left, bottom right. So there's a sequence here that's going on. It's not just moving around, say, clockwise or anti-clockwise, and that's the kind of thing to look out for. But there is a repetitive sequence going on. So top right, bottom left, top left, bottom right, top right, bottom left, top left, bottom right. And you can see here, this is a good tip, is to look quickly where this one starts again. So you'll see here, the middle square, the top right hand triangle, the sequence is starting again. So it's a 4-step sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is actually repeating itself. So you can see that that one is exactly the same as the one there. So top right, bottom left, top left, bottom right, which then means that this will be the answer. So the answer is C. Okay, so we're looking for a sequence there, and that sequence is repeated. Okay, so when you're doing this kind of question, IQ and aptitude test question, look for either sequences moving clockwise or anti-clockwise or repetitive sequences. So that's the first question. Question 2, this is one where you're going to have to add up times. Now, if we quickly read this question, it takes Martin half an hour to get washed and changed before school. Lazy sod. It takes him quarter of an hour to go downstairs and eat breakfast. And it takes him 1¼ hours on the bus to school. How much time does it take Martin to get ready and get to school? So what we have to do, these are the options: 2 hours, 1½, 2½, 1¾ It's quite simple, but what we have to do is to add up the time. So we can see there it takes Martin half an hour to get washed and changed before school. So it's 30 minutes it takes him. So I'm going to convert the hours to minutes because it's easier to add up. Then the next one, it takes him quarter of an hour to go downstairs and eat his breakfast. So that's 15 minutes. And then 1¼ hour for him to actually get ready and go to, sorry, an hour and a quarter on the bus to school, which is a long journey. So if we add all of those up, 30 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 hour, 15, we get the correct answer of 2 hours. So quite simple to do. You just got to convert the hours to minutes, and then you get your answer. So the third one, which of the following sentences is grammatically correct? Okay, so we're starting to see a real variety here of IQ and aptitude test questions. First of all, we've had like visual shapes looking for a sequence. In the one before, we were actually adding up multiples of minutes. Now we're actually looking at sentences to see which one is grammatically correct. So I wishes you the very best of luck. B, our holiday has been postponed. C, the government is implementing a new law today. D, it is difficult to understand my teacher. Okay, so what is the answer? Put it in the comments box below. So question 3, just put Q3 and what your answer is, either A, B, C or D, and do that now. So I'll quickly repeat that for you. Which one of the following sentences is grammatically correct? I wishes you the very best of luck. Our holiday has been postponed. The government is implementing a new law today, and it is difficult to understand my teacher. If you think more than one of them is correct, please put that as well in the comment section below the video. So that's question 3 that I want you to answer. Let's now move on to question 4. Quite a simple one. What fraction makes up the shaded part? So we can see we've got 4 circles here. The first 3 are fully shaded, and the fourth one, there's obviously 4 quarters. Only one of the quarters is shaded. So the correct answer is B. because you've got 3 1/4 shaded parts of the circles. Okay, really easy, that question. Question number 5. Elliot has £1.50 and David has £2.20. What is the ratio of Elliot's money to David's money in its simplest form? Okay, so what we have to do here is, because both amounts are in pounds, we want to convert both amounts into pence. So £1.50 is 150 pence and £2.20 is 220 pence. So now the ratio is 150 to 220, but both of these sides are divisible by 10. So we can round the answer down to 15 to 22. Okay, so the ratio is 15 to 22. Really simple. Okay, and the trick there is to make sure that you convert the pounds to pence, because it makes it much easier. Let's have a look at question 6. Now this kind of question is where you have to look at a sequence of numbers and see what comes next. So look carefully for the pattern and then choose which pair of numbers comes next. Now the way to answer these is to look for the sequence, whether there's addition, subtraction, multiplication or division. So if I start off on the left here, you can see I've got the number 27 and there's a drop of 2 to get to 25, but then it goes up to 87, which is quite random. Okay, it's quite a big jump. That's a jump of like, what's that, 62 of a jump. So we've got a drop here of 2, 27 minus 2 is 25, and then a jump of 62. So that doesn't really make sense, but then automatically I notice there's also another 87 in the sequence, and each of these are coming after the third number. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this tells me perhaps that the 87 is a repetitive number after every third number. 27, 25, 87, 23, 21, 87. The reason why I say this is because these are descending, these numbers, by 2 each time. So 27 minus 2 is it, and then we've got 87. Forget the 87s for a second. 27, 25, 23, 21, 19. So that tells me that probably 17 comes next, and then 87, because that would be another third number. And there's the option there. So the answer is D in my view, 17 and 87. So just to quickly recap, forget the 87s because they're coming third. We need another number here after the 19, and then the 87 would come. So we can eliminate options A, B, and E. So it's either C or D, because it's 27, 25, minus 2, 23, minus 2, 21, minus 2, 19, minus 2 would be 17, and then the repetitive figure of 87. Okay, next one. Look carefully for the pattern and then choose which pair of numbers comes next. Okay, so 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21, 28. What comes next? So again, I want you guys to work this out and put it in the comments box below the video. Just put question 7 and your answer is either A, B, C, D or E. So the sequence is 1, 3, 6, 10, 15, 21, 28. Which of the sequence, the pair of numbers A, B, C, D or E comes next in the sequence? Please put your answer in the comments box below. Okay, question number 8. Now this is like a more of a spatial reasoning IQ test question. Which figure is identical to the first? So we have to look at this. So what I tend to do, instead of looking at all these 4 options, A, B, C and D, which can be confusing, look for identical pattern shapes or sequences. So you can see here, if I look at the option on the left, you've got a circle which is white and a circle directly below it which is black. Okay, so that means if I can automatically take out 2 options, B and C, because if I turn this round anti-clockwise, you can see there that this is a white dot, and below it, or to the right of it, as would be in that case, there is the line. So it can't be B, and the same can be said for C. Directly below, where the black dot should be, it's not there, so it's not C either. Now, if it was A, okay, if we spin this round in our head anti-clockwise, it's not A either. So the correct answer is D, because if we move this round clockwise, the white dot is there with the black dot directly above it, and then directly to the right of the black dot is the line, which it is there, so that's the answer D. So it's about a process of elimination, looking for something which is obvious, and that's what I chose there. I mean, I could have chosen the, to the right of the black dot is the line, so it can't be A because that's to the left of it. It could be B. It can't be C, but it is D. Okay, so again, that would be an option for a process of elimination. Number 9. Now, this is another kind of question. We have to fill in, okay, down below you'll see there's 4 words in their correct positions within the text. So many people do not experience the world of traveling offers so much insight, knowledge and experience of the world that it allows people to see the world from a whole new, which I'd say is perspective, experiencing the natural beauty and historical landmarks perhaps provides not only a memorable experience, but knowledge and understanding about the world we live in. This is quite a simple one. So travel goes there, perspective goes there, beauty goes there, and memorable goes there. What you might find as these kind of questions get harder, and I'll tell you where to get some harder ones in a second, it becomes tougher because some of the questions could fit in, okay, to each of the blank spaces. Number 10, which of the following is not an anagram of a colour? Now, an anagram, for those who don't know, is a word or phrase formed by rearranging the letters of a different word or phrase. So, if you look at that genre, could we create a colour by rearranging those letters? B, saw, again, could we form a colour, a word colour, by rearranging those letters? The same for C, cheap, and D is hatred. Okay, so I think A, we can form the word green. B, for saw, we can form the word rose. C, we can form the word peach. But D, I think that's an anagram of thread. Okay, so the answer is D, because it says which of the following is not an anagram of a colour. Now, you have a go at this one, guys. Which of the following is not an anagram of a country? A, plane. B, chain. C, cereal. D, enemy. Okay, so, and E, slow. So I want you to put your answer, again, in the comments box below. Which of the following is not an anagram of a country? Okay, not an anagram of a country. So quite a difficult one, that. So you can obviously pause the video while you work it out. But don't forget to put your your answer in the comments box below the video. Put question 11 and then your answer. A, plane. B, chain. C, cereal. D, enemy. E, slow. And actually, it'd be great, first person, if you could, the first person to actually put all of the answers of what each anagram is, I'll give you a free copy of our IQ and aptitude test book as a download. So the first person to comment with the correct answer, I'll send you a free download copy. Question 12, which group of shapes can be assembled to make the shape shown? So we can see that's the shape shown at the top. There's like a flat top triangle, and then there's sort of like a rectangle below. So could it be well, that shape at the top, the flat top triangle, looks okay. That's the same, but below, if we form these together, it wouldn't reach or make that triangle all the way across to the left. I can probably eliminate C and D because that flat top triangle is nothing like those. So if we look at B, that flat top triangle is the same, and if we add those two squares together, that will form that rectangle. So the correct answer is B. Question 13. Which group of shapes can be assembled to make the shape shown? So that arrow pointing to the right, which of these group of shapes can be assembled to make that shape? So I'd like you guys again in the comments box below, put question 13 and what your answer is, either A, B, C or D. Okay, so it's good practice for you. Again, don't forget to pause the video and then you can put your answer in there. So which group of shapes can be assembled to make the shape shown? Number 14. Okay, this is a good one. Start at one of the corner letters. Okay, so one of the corner letters, well, there's only two there for you to start. It's either I or A. And then move clockwise. Okay, so clockwise is that way around the square, finishing in the center to create a 9-letter word. Okay, so if you look at that for a second, it could start I, but then you'd have to fill in the blank AC. I can't think of any words starting with I, blank AC, blank D, MS. I think it's AC, something D, something MS. And I think the word is academics. Okay, ACADEMICS. Now you have a go at this one. Start at one of the corner letters and move clockwise around the square, finishing in the center to create a 9-letter word. So you can't start with P, K or A. You have to start with either S, E or M, or even a blank there. You could go blank K, E, blank M, etc. But you need to finish in the middle. So start at one of the corner letters and move clockwise around the square, finishing in the center to create a 9-letter word. So what is the answer to question 15? Again, please put it in the comments box below the video. You can pause this part to answer the question. So what were the answers, please, guys, to questions 3, 7, 11, 13, 15? And don't forget, there's a prize of a free download to the person who answers the question that I mentioned in the video. So put your comments below